So, welcome to Frame by Frame, 12 people. I'm Andy.
13 people.
13.
Yes.
Awesome, lucky now.
We had a growth spurt in our rankings.
Yeah, we're doing good.
It's still turning up for shows.
Doesn't feel like a week since the last time we did a podcast.
No,
feels like about half an hour, but strange.
Yeah, it's as if we just ate pizza and went straight to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we wouldn't do that.
No, we're professionals.
Yeah.
We're not
wouldn't
like...
be disingenuous, would we?
We're not Countdown.
No.
We don't film 3 in a day.
Yeah, no, bloody... That one with Noel Edmonds, Deal or No Deal.
Yeah, just because he changes his underwear.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's a new show.
How do you know he changes his underwear?
You talking to me?
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
Then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me?
I'm funny how? I mean, funny like a clown. You.
I'm Peter Venkman.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Man that doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
I'm kind of a big deal.
The first rule of Fight Club is do not talk about Fight Club.
Yeah, baby.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
So what are we talking about today?
Underwear. Yes. We're going to talk about a few films
Yes.
that have a similar theme in that they have a female protagonist who have big body changes.
Yes.
Big changes in their body inside and out. And
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Horror films?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I'd say horror films. But not mainstream.
Not mainstream,
No,
independent, low
independent.
budget, yes. Fairly low budget, fairly unknown people.
Yep. So the films are Starry Eyes and Honeymoon.
Starry Eyes and Honeymoon.
Maybe talk a little bit about teeth.
Just
Well,
a little bit, because it's
just to say how it's done incredibly well, fairly well, and not
and pretty much on the nose.
Yeah.
Too much on the nose. It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Well, in my terms, it's
Yeah.
You know, I think we've got different feelings about these films, but so should we start with Honeymoon?
Okay.
So this is the famous family cottage.
Do you like it?
Here's what I see. The woods. A lake. No one around.
You okay?
Couldn't find you.
Must be sleepwalking. I'm fine.
How's my little zombie face this morning?
I made a coffee.
You feel distant, different. Did something happen in the woods?
Okay.
Right. So Honeymoon is about a couple that go on honeymoon.
Cue drinking water. Who are these people, Andy?
They're a very young, attractive couple. They go to the woman's house, or house she grew up in, for the honeymoon, don't they?
Yeah, owned by her relatives.
Yeah.
And,
It's all very nice and
fishy.
Yeah, big lake.
Big lake, a lot of fishing paraphernalia inside, and very old-fashioned, quirky kind of cabin in the woods kind of thing.
Yeah, well, Stephen's getting fed up of cabin in the woods.
No.
Yes,
Let's not go there yet. Let's live the dream and enjoy enjoy what we know about the movie and what we like about this film.
Well, I think Stephen thinks I really love this film,
Yeah.
which was not the case.
Ah.
What I liked about it is to try to do something different with alien abduction. No one gets abducted, but that kind of vibe.
Yeah, it was low budget enough that
Low
they
budget.
just it was basically a flashlight through the window.
Yeah, but the first night they're there.
Yeah.
They've had the sex because they're newly married and that's what you do. And
Which is a profar in all horror films. If you have sex, you
die.
Yeah.
Wes Craven talked about that at great length in Scream, didn't he? But what I actually liked about it, and just about that one shot, is when they're just in bed and then a light shines on them and then it goes off, and I was like, oh, hang on, something different's going to happen here. And it was. Have you seen that before? This film?
Okay, I mean, there are things that I haven't seen moment-wise. For example, the self-harm, trying to get a worm out, is been done to death. But I don't know, I kind of felt it was limited. That they were very limited with what they could do.
By budget?
By budget and location choices, and the fact that they've written themselves into a place where they just couldn't go anywhere. I mean, I would have been... I mean, you know, when they're looking for their phone, I would have been looking for my phone a little bit sooner. You know, when they were looking for the keys to the car?
Yeah.
I would have been looking for the key for my car a lot sooner.
Yeah.
A lot sooner. I kind of don't get their sense of reality about the situation until it's too late. And I know it's a low-budget film, and it's got a good grip on the imagery, vision. The characters, like I say, what the actors did with their characters was extraordinary, considering they're both British.
Yeah. Oh, really?
They're both English.
Wow.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So kudos to them. I mean, they were able to... It's very hard to be a very small cast. I mean,
because it really is just them two. I know you have the sort of ex-boyfriend and his wife thing come into it, but
kind of feel as though that maybe the script let them down a little bit. The ability to do anything with their situation, to actually do anything of it, because the script literally just kept them in one place. And didn't really... There was nothing that they could really do other than let the guy drown at the end. You know, it just seemed a bit disappointing, because I just kind of wanted something a little bit more stylistically, artistically different. Something to bounce out.
See, I've just got a huge amount of respect for anybody in today's cinema world who can just write a script, to get it made, and it's been put out.
Exactly, and I hear what you're saying, Stephen. Quit complaining, and
well, this is the essence of what we've tried to do.
Yeah, I know.
And that's why, and it's had a cinema release.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible.
Starry Eyes won't have a cinema release in this.
No, because of the nature of it. I think they're just but part of me just kind of felt, I'm amazed by Starry Eyes.
Yeah,
I am amazed at what they did with that film. I just kind of thought that Honeymoon could have gone a little bit further.
It's again, it's your Star Trek Into Darkness thing. It's all surface.
Yeah,
which I think you struggle with a bit.
I struggle with just watching a film and letting it just be what it is.
Yeah.
But
so I enjoy both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, we'll get onto it, but Starry Eyes is a far better film.
Sure.
But I enjoyed it because I thought it played out well. I thought the sort of desperation in him was there.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the paranoia because there's one point I should explain. There's a point in it where they go to a cafe and it looks closed. Then all of a sudden you see this guy comes out, and you can tell it's someone from the woman's past. And he's a little bit with his wife. He's very sort of down on her, isn't he? Sort of like, get away.
Yeah.
And then that night they do the thing. They go to sleep. He wakes up and she's disappeared. He can't find her, and she's gone into the woods. When he goes into the woods, she's all looks like she's been scratched, and he assumes that this bloke has raped her.
Yeah,
and then it starts a big paranoia with him, which I think is played out quite well.
It is, and then I
spent half the time thinking, yeah, it's going all right, and half the time thinking, how can a man be that thin?
Well, okay.
Do with that what you will.
But that's not surface. I mean, that's you doing what I do is kind of try and find something and gravitate towards it and think, well, why is that like that? But I don't know. I just didn't feel. I mean, with like I say with Starry Eyes, I was totally invested.
Yeah.
They could have just been throwing spaghetti at each other, and I would have believed it. They did actually throw food at each other at one moment in the restaurant. So, when she was a spat with the manager, but if there was like a stupid food, but I don't know. I just didn't feel that I was in the movie enough with Honeymoon. That I was actually I was above the surface, and I just didn't want to engage with it as much. Maybe I was just too resistant to engage with it and let the things happen.
Exactly. I enjoyed the element of something else that we never really get to see, do we? But there's something that's infecting them, and you sort of think it's this otherworldly presence. Yeah,
Yeah, I get that there is another worldly presence, but the worldly,
I like that it's overseeing it, but we never see it.
We're kind of like overseeing it. We're
Yeah.
kind of like on that outside looking in. But I just kind of felt that the characters' relationship with each other was extremely overcranked. It was as if there was a fear that the film could be boring.
Yeah.
So that they filled it to the max with the quirkiness, which I guess is possible, but I kind of felt as though it was purely a device to kind of make a drastic contrast between that and the actual breakdown of their relationship.
Right.
But I'm sitting there. I have to look at the film in a critical way and think, well, I know I would do things differently. Seriously, would have done things differently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been in a cabin in the woods, for example.
See, I would. I like a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, they're okay, but there was no way. I mean, if you actually watch the film Cabin in the Woods, they took it to a completely different level.
We need to do one of them on that.
Yeah,
film.
I think
It's
so.
Such a good film.
But I just got to say that there is. I've got a list of all the other films that spring to mind.
Well,
that were set
in a
cabin in the woods, and would you like me to read the list?
Yeah, please.
Okay, and not in any order of rank of goodness or badness.
Actually, after you said the list, I want you to tell me which film out of that list you like the most.
Okay, right. After the list.
After the list.
Okay. So we've got Wrong Turn, Friday the 13th, The Evil Dead, A Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Blair Witch Project, Cabin Fever, The Evil Dead 2, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, Misery, The Cabin in the Woods, Wolf Creek, I Spit on Your Grave, Sleepaway Camp, Severance, Mama, The Antichrist, The Burning, Dead End, Pumpkinhead, Motel Hell, The Woods, Hatchet, Secret Window, Dead Snow, The Guardian, The Old Dark House, The Cottage, Storm Warning, Shaitan, Small Town Folk, Frightmare, Monster Man, Spider Baby, Hell's Ground, Don't Go Into the Woods, Lake Dead, The Woods Have Eyes, which has nothing to do with The Hills Have Eyes, but
right.
Blood Ranch, Yellow Brick Road.
Not to be confused with The Hills Have Wood.
The Broken. They could have wood. And The Broken, which looks quite interesting actually. That's one that I'm looking at. But so that's a list of 40.
Okay.
And
when's the Cabin in the Woods and the Blair Witch Project? There's a house in
Nivea
it.
Men Stress Protect Deodorant. Proven protection, even
Sorry.
in stressful situations.
We're being invaded by a commercial.
Works against stress sweating.
Stress sweating?
Stress sweating. I'm stress sweating right now.
I know. Give me some of that stuff. Okay, so they were in the list. Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, but there's not a cabin in the woods. There's a house in the woods. There's not a cabin.
A cabin in the woods was there?
No. In Blair Witch Project, there's no cabin in the woods. There's a house in the woods.
But it's more about the theme of it. It's still a place in the middle of the woods that you could go into.
It's not really a catchy film, is that, is it? The place in the middle of the woods that you can go into.
Coming soon. At midnight.
A place in the middle of the woods that you can go into free. They went in again.
But did they come out alive? But you know what I mean? It's more about the construct. It's about the design. And I just like saying that there are so many films that are a cabin in the woods that I kind of felt a little bit disappointed that it was another cabin in the woods, and I kind of wanted to see something new, and I didn't get that experience.
What would you have liked to have seen then? A cabin in the city?
I would have liked to have actually. This is my idea, and I've got this is my idea. It was. I just kind of feel as though it was crying for something new. Why not a different location? How about a flight that takes them to an airport they have to go down at a small airport in Japan or somewhere where nobody speaks a language, or the Ukraine or Mongolia,
Right.
and because somebody's sick on the plane, okay, so they get off and they get put up into a hotel. That they get driven by a taxi to a small hotel, and instead of the woods, the actual community who live there are just foreigners who don't speak their language, that just don't want to engage. They just look at them in a very strange way. And yeah, the same drama could happen, the same drama can take place there, and yet nobody would want to touch them. Just leave them, just let them get on with it, because it's very it's kind of like making it a little bit different. Setting, I just think setting could have been a lot more interesting.
Yeah,
giving a bit of depth about the honeymoon situation. I mean, yeah, they've got a honeymoon and they get a cabin in the woods, and that actually happens. They get what they want to go for. Why not give them something that they didn't expect to begin with?
Yeah, okay, I like it, but budget.
Yes,
they clearly have a lot of money. You can see how people want to do this because it's so easy to do it.
That's it.
We'll rent a cabin in the woods. We're in the middle of a woods, so we're not going to get outside. And they're not really in the middle of a woods. They're in a town. There just doesn't seem to be anyone in the town.
Could they have actually just bought an old abandoned cinema or an old abandoned church or something that they could have just moved into, and it's isolated, and they're actually going to be doing it up? Something that's a little bit different. Yeah. Doing something with a place.
No, but I think it's just it's easy, isn't it?
It's easy access.
We just got married, and even the wedding video was them saying that the family didn't want them to get married. Screw you, we got married anyway, and now we're here.
Yeah. I mean, which is okay.
It is. It's just I get what you're saying, because it's just it's easy writing. It's easy.
It's an easy film, but it's not a film that I'm going to remember or want to go back to.
Oh no.
It's okay, and I'm glad that they've done it, and the actors really had a good experience. So I think they were. So they were good friends throughout, and I think that maybe the crew and the director, it's school fees, it's they made a bit of money from it, they moved on. I mean, it's but to me it's nothing special.
No, it is nothing special. But again, I like the idea that these people that we don't know made a film and they've had it released.
Bearing in mind that our short film S03E06 was actually made in a cabin in the back of our garden.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you realise that, even we've done it.
I guess it's sometimes I like being on familiar ground.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And it was just watch the film, a couple of drinks. It was perfect. I didn't have to switch everything off that's in the room and think, right, I have to get into this. Wow. It was just something that happened and it finished, and I thought, there we go. But I do agree with you at the end. I did think that. Where she basically at the end, he's been knocked out. She knocks him out
because I mean it's something that I think for a low budget filmmaker, I tend to lean towards knocking people out in the end of scenes because I don't know how to get them from one place to another.
Yeah.
Motivation is always difficult, and usually the simplest solution is whack him over the head.
Yeah, and then she puts.
I don't mind that because
she puts him in the lake. She puts a weight round his ankles and throws him overboard, and he seems remarkably calm about it.
Well, he kind of reminds me of Ned Flanders. Like, oh really? You want to hide me? Well, this isn't really the way to do it. Maybe we ought to look up the word hide. You know what? This is actually getting wet and cold around my ankles. Really, I really think you should reconsider. I don't think I'm going to be able to breathe underneath this water. This is not a good idea. It's really getting cold now.
And it's almost as if, be careful with that weight. I don't want you to scratch yourself.
Yes, careful, lower me in. It's like, he says, you don't want to break a nail now, do you? I mean,
I feel that maybe the next film that the director does will be more substantial. I think it shows promise. And like I say, I enjoyed it on just a surface level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent.
So, moving on to a film that has many levels. So, Starry Eyes.
Starry Eyes. Yeah. Now, this was a very stylistic film.
Very David Lynch.
It was, but also it had that touch of the 80s.
Yeah, absolutely. It did. Yeah,
and
I
yet,
noted that.
and yet it didn't go too far with that style. It still filmed that, but it kind of kept it in the background, this kind of nuance of 80s horror and shock horror, chillers. It was,
the video nasties type thing.
Video nasties feeling. Yeah, I mean, even the first titles were
the actual filter of the camera.
Yeah,
like that.
The muted tones of blue in LA. I mean, it's never felt so cold. I mean, LA is a warm place. You know, everybody thinks about the heat and the humidity, and yet here it looked like Manchester. It looked really, really cold, which is a kind of it was a mood palette. The mood palette that it was. It's not a warm place. It's not an inviting place. These people are in LA, but they're not. You don't get to see the sunshine until you're actually making it in LA. That's what I think they're saying.
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely, yeah.
Welcome to Big Taters. My name is Sarah. Can I start you guys off with an order of our freedom tots?
We got all these people, all our friends. They're just sitting around trying to figure out what to do, trying to figure out how to make something.
I thought you were avoiding me.
Why would you think that? Because I stole your role.
What's going on with you lately?
I work so hard. Every week it's a new class, a new audition. Hopefully you'll see something in me. I know I'd be great for this.
We'll be in touch.
Hello, Sarah. We'd like to see you again. And Sarah, this will be different.
I'm dying!
No. You're being reborn.
That's me. I'm your girl. I will do whatever it takes for this role.
I think time and time again we're seeing this motif of what's on the surface and what actually happens.
Yeah, she does that. I mean, there's that dream sequence that I think was incredible, because the story is about a girl who wants fame and fortune. She has a wall of celebrity, old style, old school celebrity, and she's very much very conscious about her body image. She wants to be a star. She wants to make it big in Hollywood, and she's getting to a point now where she's reaching desperation, I should say, and that she's starting to panic about auditions beforehand. And
I love the scene where she's reading for them.
Yes,
and then all of a sudden the letters start disappearing off,
and they get mixed up, and then all of a sudden it's just highlights and no text. Which you feel for it, because you're there. You think, I can't read it either. I cannot do anything for you. And that is a skilled director right there, who is able to put you into the film and make you feel as though you just want to get the script and just help her read it, because you feel as though, and you realise it's a dream sequence, because spoiler alert, blood starts to pour and
it goes to the extreme.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's kind of how our dream sequences would be for our film that we've developed. We like that kind of idea of just building on the motif of visual imagery from a point of view, from a perspective of the protagonist.
So basically, she
or the anti-hero
applies for an audition, doesn't she?
She does,
online.
yeah.
And she tells her friends about it. Some friends are happy. Other friends, there's the whole typical jealousy, bitterness, one-upmanship between her friends.
Yeah, where you kind of don't want them to succeed, and you kind of do passive-aggressive things to make them feel bad about themselves.
Yeah.
That
one character in that is particularly nasty.
I really hope that your sitcom fails, because,
Yeah.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry about that commercial. And she's like, what commercial? The commercial you went for, I got that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, did you? I didn't know.
But don't worry, they were nasty people anyway.
But don't worry, your thing's coming now,
Yeah. That's it, exactly. And but you do feel straight away. I mean, it doesn't take long for you to actually take her side, and you're actually gunning for her. Before that audition, she's seeing everybody who's feeling sick, waiting for the audition, and then the woman comes out crying. And you see the look on her face, and you just see the fear, like, oh God, you know, I know how I would be feeling right now. This is an interview. This is an audition. This is big.
Yeah.
This is. You felt your own chest tightening. And when her name was called, I actually went, I'm here. Let's go. You just kind of feel as though you're right there with her, and yeah, the actress who played her, she's done a few things before. She's not that well known.
No.
I'm not going to tell her name right now because I can't remember. But she reminds me so much of Madeleine Stowe.
Yeah.
There's that 12 Monkeys Madeleine Stowe feeling about her. You know, that two Jakes.
She reminded me, the performance in this reminds me of Cheryl Fenn's performance in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me.
There we go. Yeah, there's that there as well. And I thought of Mia Farrow as well, with the manic, the Catherine Deneuve in Repulsion, and a little bit of Brooke Adams' Invasion of the Body Snatchers in the whole nuance of her character. She's kind of, I kind of, when I started to think about the different actresses that she was resembling, it struck me. She is actually she is a collage herself as a character. The woman in the film is a collage of all these different movie stars.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't realise that I was actually making a collage of my own in my own head, and I'm really involved in this movie.
Yeah.
To a point where what she has on her wall, I'm building my own little collage, and it's got all these different actresses in it. Freaking weird, man.
Yeah, what a performance, though.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, you mean her?
Yeah, your performance is always nothing but Oscar-worthy.
She's got a sense of she's able to act without actually saying anything. She's able to just react.
Absolutely. You can see in her eyes exactly what she's thinking.
It's in the eyes. You didn't get that nuance. I mean, it is. I mean, eyes are so powerful.
Yeah.
When it comes to film.
And for seeing...
They're very useful, yeah.
The starry eyes.
The starry eyes. It's all about the starry eyes. But she's very much an observer as well in this film. She watches life around her as it's happening. She seems very disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah, she's definitely not part of the world around her. So the actual audition, when she takes the audition, she kind of fluffs it, doesn't she? She does okay, but not very well.
I thought she did really well for a standard audition, but they want more, of course.
So, but she goes to the bathroom upset because she knows she hasn't really got the part, and she has a little bit of a breakdown in there, doesn't she?
Yes, and then it becomes
where she's
masochist.
She starts ripping her hair out, which seems to be her release.
Yes,
this hair thing.
Yeah, and it's very, very subtly done. It wasn't really over the top. It wasn't like she was pulling hair out. She was crunching it.
Yeah.
And you can feel the follicles just scratching out of her head, and it's just yeah.
But one of the women that's in the audition, one of the women that's giving the auditions, or taking the auditions, or being the observer of the audition, who's with the producer, she basically is in the toilet when she does this.
Yeah,
and suddenly
she's followed her there.
Yeah, and suddenly she's like, "Can you do that again?" And they make her go back into the audition, don't they, and actually have a breakdown and yank at her own hair.
Yeah. Incredible.
Just to get the role, you know.
Yeah.
It's saying so much of what... Because you see the glamour of Hollywood all the time, but you don't see, you know, the casualties of Hollywood.
Exactly. I mean, to think that these kind of things might actually happen, I'm pretty sure they are, because Hollywood is such a hyped-up, driven place that people from all across America drive there every single day. Somebody gets in their car, leaves home because they want to make it big in Hollywood, and they're either never seen again, they either come home broken, or they just get lost in the fabrics and people take advantage of them. There are so many different seedy areas that I can see where this is feeding from. It's feeding from that area. I mean, we don't know if this is actually possible and true. But I can guarantee if there's anywhere in the world where it could be possible, where it could be happening,
Hollywood,
it's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have the Illuminati on our backs again, aren't we?
Oh, I'm sick of them. Never leave me alone.
I know. They always open my mail and take away my birthday cards. I don't know what they're doing with them. But yeah, there you go. So, There's still lots to talk about this film.
No, there is, absolutely. So
the restaurant manager.
Yeah.
And the restaurant that she works in, she does apply herself to a different kind of personality when she's working there.
She does.
Distracted.
Yeah. She's got a phone on her all the time when she's not allowed to. That's because the detail in this film is good. The sort of the things that happen in chain restaurants and cinemas and things like that, you watch and you think that wouldn't happen. Not allowed to have your phone on you because it's not company policy. You're not allowed to do such things in a company policy. They're real, and
Yes.
to put them in the film,
It sounds like somebody in the writing team, or at least knows this environment.
Yeah, it has worked in like a restaurant where all these stupid rules and regulations are in place, which the customers wouldn't care less.
No.
As long as you're not reading the text in front of a customer, they wouldn't care less if you just got your phone out and then put it back in your pocket.
But they have to read this whole thing. They do this whole taters thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Hooters, and I went there out of major curiosity.
Yeah.
And it's a different kind of environment. Definitely, you don't feel as though you're going to a restaurant or a food place. You're going to a place where you are supposed to pretend that you're not ogling breasts and booty. But they play up to that. They make you wanna ogle breasts and stare at booty.
Yeah.
Even though you kind of maturely in your own mind know that it's we need to be treating these people as people and not things that are they're not see, I can't even say it. What are they? Objects of desire, Like, why did I struggle with that? But yeah, I mean, you find yourself fighting that vibe, but yet they encourage it because your credit card keeps on coming out and you keep on buying more drinks because you're trying to your focus is just not on having a meal and having a drink, and that's why they do it. They do it to throw you off the whole idea of you going out for a meal and getting out. You just
and a lot of it is
get
you've got this,
what you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of it you got this incredibly attractive girl serving you.
Yeah.
Would you like sweet? Or you usually think no? We think yeah, I will, please.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
stay a bit longer and hoggle a bit longer. And it's all about making more money for the business.
Making the experience last as long as possible because
So
you don't want
more.
you don't want it to stop.
Yeah, but
And
the more longer you're there, the more money you're going to spend, and the more money for the business. It's exploiting people.
It is, and I felt violated when I went to Hooters.
Were you working there at the time?
Hi, my name is Jordan from the Hooters of Washington, D.C. Have you ever ordered a plate of our amazing Hooters wings and not known the best way to get all of the meat off the bone? Well, being the Hooters expert that I am, this tip will help you do just that and look like a pro while doing so. Hooters, the wing is our thing.
No, I was in Fargo.
Didn't do well because of your lack of Hooters.
Anyway, let's talk about her friends.
Okay.
Or frenemies, as I like to call them. Yeah.
Well, you got the bitchy one.
Yeah, the bitchy one, who is kind of the queen bitch.
Yeah. You've got one that actually does genuinely seem to be a friend.
Housemate, wasn't it? Or a friend.
The one who she really sort of turns on, doesn't she?
Yeah, exactly. She throws her.
Yeah.
Gives her a good throw.
You get
pushes her.
Yeah, you get the sense that the lads want to sleep with her.
They all want to sleep with anybody, and they don't care about the. They don't pay attention to the squabbles, which is very realistic in a way. I mean, if you think about it, none of those characters really reacted to her when she was having her fit, which is exactly true to the nature of young lads. That the girls will just be drumming around, and they won't be able to hear anything. They won't be. All they can see is just the form moving around, and because and what it means to them. If she's upset, they don't realize she's upset until she starts walking away.
Yeah.
Because now they say, oh no, she's upset. They couldn't say that when she's in front of her, but they say it when she's walking away because they needed to come back to be a part of that construct again of being a female among males. Yeah. It's amazing how that film just captures that feeling so well. You know, and they just let her walk off. Nobody goes running after her. Not one of those friends goes running after her when she starts walking off into the darkness alone, and then beats up a poor homeless man for not raping her. I'm like, it just throws everything around this film. I love it.
It's so good, yeah. You know the producer when she first goes to his house?
Yeah.
Like, he's such a awful, sleazy bastard.
Yeah, corporate America.
Yeah, and basically he comes on to her, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Doesn't he? And he puts his hand on her leg and she's like not going for it at all. What I kind of liked is she's so desperate for this, is when a few days has passed, she's ringing back up saying that she wants to see him again. Like, she will go through with it now, just because she wants the role so badly.
Yeah, and it's bizarre because she's not given any other reference for getting out of her situation. The only path that she has is that dead end of her friends. Her friends are literally just a dead end.
Yeah.
There's nothing for her to kind of reach out towards to go anywhere with. She can only see that one. And it makes you realise how easy it is for some people to go in that direction. Because you always wonder, why do people do it? Why are there girls leaving England right now, heading off to Syria, knowing full well that many of them just end up either coming back or are dead or married off, for as meat?
Well,
I mean, but they still do it because
the
there is
situation
no
is
other
that
way.
it's more of a religious thing. They believe on a religious level that they're doing the right thing.
But this actress believes on her own, on a deeply religious.
Well, she's devoted to
the.
She's devoted to the thought that she will be a star,
that is.
That she quits the job.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that she's going to be a star, but she quits the job because she is so. She
devoted.
blames the job for not being totally focused on becoming this fantastic actress she believes she's going to be.
Yeah.
And that gets completely exploited.
And it's a part of her visualising where all her dead end places are. And the only path out is the yellow brick road to that guy's penis.
Yeah.
It's odd.
It is, and it'll be happening now. In fact, there's a whole genre of porn about whether it's fake or not. I don't know, it will be fake, but of women who go for an audition.
It's a casting couch thing. It's been going on since the
basically,
dawn
all right,
of man.
I'll give you the part if you have sex with me.
Yeah, exactly. But really, it does happen. It does happen, and it's very strange.
And we know about the mistreatment of women in Hollywood now.
Oh,
Patricia Arquette brought up the
equality
of pay, didn't they? You know, women earn 70% less than male actors do.
Exactly, and
they earn 70% of
male actors tend to be the ones who are making all the decisions and deciding what projects go ahead, and women are finding it very hard, and it's just odd because you just don't know.
Well, you see just don't know on the red carpet when they're all being interviewed, like George Clooney come up and what was your motivation for this film? Oh, well, I was doing this, I was doing that, and then say Brad Pitt turns up with Angelina on his arm and says, your film was amazing, and then Patricia Arquette turns up and goes, oh, what are you wearing today?
Who are you wearing? Yeah, who are you wearing?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and it becomes the whole thing. You know, if she's with somebody, then it's all about the you basically gush over the projects because they're both together there. You don't want to be talking about what she's wearing, excluding Brad.
Yeah.
You've got to keep them both together, so he's proud of her and she wants him to hear that she's doing well.
Well, that's what I love about Jennifer Lawrence, where someone asks her, who are you wearing or whatever, they asked her, and she's like, this is the top, there's some bottoms.
Yeah, fantastic.
Brilliant.
And she's a single lady in Hollywood who's, and I think that the era of the single lady having power in Hollywood is getting there. But there's a lot of arrogant men out there who just want to have it all and don't want to give them, any power or any sense of power, at least. And here we go. I mean, this is a film that basically tells you exactly how it is.
Yeah.
In so many ways, it's possible. This happens.
Again, it's a film of many levels. It's a film of how women are treated in Hollywood, how hard it actually is to be a famous actress.
Yeah.
I think it delves into mental health issues quite.
It's definitely a cautionary tale. It's not a how-to.
No, definitely not.
This is not something that I would take to my drama class and say, kids,
the A to Z guide to making it in Hollywood.
Here we go. Take notes, guys.
Yeah. Remember, never suck cock on the first meeting with the producer. Always ring up.
Reject them first and then crawl back.
They want it so much more then.
Yes, they'll know that you're serious about the role.
Never jump in with both feet. Think about it first.
Quit your job and then grovel for your job back before you actually slap your manager around the face. That's the way it's done, okay?
Again, her decline is just incredible.
The pacing of this movie is quite extraordinary because the first act, you're with her on her projecting herself into the world of the Hollywood audition. The second act is purely about what changes from that encounter, and the point of no return, of course, is when she actually does have sex, and then she starts the deterioration, which is slow and gradual. Yeah. There's a lot of her body image changes as well.
As a mental well-being breaks down, her body starts to break down, doesn't it?
But it starts to become extremely. From when she was quite modest in the beginning of the movie about her body and about her body image, she just suddenly seems to just lurch as if her body is no longer hers or in her control. And
she's incredible in it. She really is.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in her deterioration that was a surprise, and I think it's that Act 3 change where she has that confrontation. With the girl, and there seems to be a big hunter's knife available just when you need it the most. And I did write. This is what I wrote. It says, why do they have such vicious knives, hunting knives, in a domestic kitchen? If she had a tomato knife, they wouldn't have been a problem. They would have just been laughing about it. A plaster would have been put over, and they should have been, I just felt a little bit shitty, a bit satanic. That's all. It's a bit sadist. So I'm sorry it was a bitch. Things would have been fine if it was a tomato knife. But no. It had to be the big gushing knife that they used to chop onions with.
I blame Paul Hogan.
I blame Paul Hogan. That's not a knife.
Yeah, because now that's the benchmark of what all knives measured against.
Literally, it's in the bench.
Yeah,
it's there to be grabbed. Okay, there's a couple of lines. You are a waitress, and I live in a van. That was the guy who lives in the van, who's the director. He's our kind of director, really. He's working on our level.
just films women swimming in a pool. When did we do that?
I don't know, but are we above that, or are we sliding towards that? Because
I think we're slightly different.
But I mean, he says you're a waitress and I live in a van. So what? Those things aren't exclusive about stopping us doing what we want to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a waitress, or it doesn't matter if you're not a waitress. It doesn't matter if you work at home, if you're a father, if you're a work at home dad. It doesn't matter if you work in Sainsbury's. Other supermarkets are available.
Yeah. You got in there before me.
I did. I was waiting for you to say it.
Yeah, but no, it's true. That is a good thing, because I think you do whatever it takes to get where you want to go.
Oh.
So if that means working for minimum wage at an awful cinema, then. But in a means
other cinema chains are available.
Yeah, other cinema. Oh, great chain that.
Oh, that's
imagine that. Let's go down to other cinema. Which one? Other cinema. Which one are you on about? No, other cinema. Which other cinema? Other cinema.
The film house that is also on the inside.
Yeah. And then when you're in that other cinema, there's like lights and an alien abducts you.
Yay.
And makes you kill
Actually,
people.
did I tell you about my fantastic idea for a restaurant?
No.
I love this idea. This is my idea. Like, people always say that they want to go to a theme restaurant. Like in Fargo, they have the Alien restaurant where you go in and it's basically just filled with alien memorabilia, and it's really doesn't go where you expect it to.
Right. Okay.
But I imagine this, right? Okay, This is your ultimate alien abduction restaurant experience. You have to make a reservation via phone.
Okay.
They call you back and tell you that you do not have a time or a place or a table. We will come and get you. Right?
Okay.
So you do your reservation. How many people are we abducting today? Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
And you literally do not know when you're going to have to go visit this restaurant because it happens at any time, day or night. You will be abducted. You'll basically forget where you are. You'll actually be bundled into a van with your other paying tenants, and you'll be taken to a restaurant where you'll be lying on tables. And you will be fed a course of a starter, main course, and dessert intravenously through feeding tubes, where you'll be stared at by people dressed up in alien costumes. You will then be asked. You ask for the bill. You swipe your card, and then you'll go along the end corridor, and then to which you'll be stripped naked and thrown out of the van, only to come to and realise that you don't know where you are, and you have to find your way home. That to me is a perfect alien supernatural restaurant experience.
I can't see it taken off.
But wouldn't that be amazing?
The only drawback I can find with that is if you're going to get abducted any time, you might have eaten beforehand and then they take you. You won't be hungry. Oh, they're going to just force feed you anyway.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's okay if you vomit.
And then they'll leave an implant in you.
Well, yeah, it's like a voucher score system. The more times you go, the more
implants
you get. If you get 6 implants,
I can't breathe now. I've just got that many chips up my nose.
And after the 6th visit, you get a free anal probe.
Oh my god!
And if you visit 10 times, you get a free book deal and a chance to do a documentary on PBS about just talking about your alien abduction experience.
Oh dear.
Okay, back to Starry Eyes. Right, so the first death, there's this poor girl. She gets slashed in the face.
She does,
and it goes on for ages. It's a long scene. She's standing there holding her face in shock for a long time.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, the camera doesn't shy away from much.
No, it doesn't really. Well, it's when she then leaves the room.
Yeah.
She finds the boyfriend who's lying in bed waiting for the other girl to come back, and there's a definite Michael Myers moment going on there.
Yeah.
Where she grabs the thing.
It does turn full on slasher.
And
film.
all of a sudden, as soon as the slash on the face, you thought, "Wow, that was a shock." You weren't expecting that. You do not expect the blunt instrument to be lifted above, to then start coming down, and down and down. And you see this face being pulverized to something unrecognisable. That
it's like sort of what happened in Pan's Labyrinth, taken to the next level.
That's exactly what I wrote.
Bloody hell, yeah!
It's the face caving with the gun handle.
Yeah.
In Pan's Labyrinth, taken to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, that shocked me in Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah. It's one of the things in that I have to not look at.
Well, to say, have you ever seen Irreversible with Monica Bellucci?
No.
That's a very hard film to watch. But there's a part in that where they go into this gay club, and it's more sadomasochism.
Sadist-masochism.
A sadist club, and everyone's doing all manner of horrible things. And he finds this guy and just starts pummeling his face, and the camera doesn't shy away. His face just starts collapsing and stuff as he keeps going. It's not nice.
It's brutal, and in any other film, I would have shied away. But I actually just, because you're with her, you're still with her. You still don't know why you're with her.
Yeah.
Because you don't know why she, even though you don't know why she went to that audition. But I'm sorry, but you as a person watching this film, you're still with her, and I actually didn't shy away.
And because you've seen what she's been through. She's lost it, and you feel sorry for her because of everything that she's been through and how she's been used by everyone.
She's destroying the things that stopped her,
yeah,
and that forced her to do this.
Just before this, I seem to remember coming out of the ground.
No, that's later on.
Oh, is that sorry?
That's the rebirth.
That's
the rebirth. That's the resurrection. After her killing spree, she gets taken away by the people who bought a lot of flashlights. Oh, by the way, if you want to know who the Satanists are, track back to any bulk orders of battery-operated fluorescent tubing.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll be able to know exactly who these people are, because they all seem to have quite a good bulk order going on there of flashlights. But anyway, yeah, there's a face bludgeon, and then she goes back to the girl in the kitchen, who is just about to get up and get her life back to normal. Go back to.
She got a knitting kit out. She's about to sort her face out.
She's just got to come to terms with the fact that, okay, I've got to stitch my face up. Well, nothing else could be worse now. I mean, this is the worst it's going to be.
Yeah.
She just comes running in, hunter's knife, straight this, I spat on you, and she just bludgeons her to death. And then, well, she's not dead, because she puts her on the floor. I think she leaves her for a little bit longer, and then she goes back and puts the bag over her head until she really is dead.
At least she's consistent.
But she keeps on coming back. I mean, I've never seen in a horror film, a slasher film,
no,
where they hurt somebody, go away, come back, hurt them really bad, go back, and then just come back and go, okay, bag. No, it's never been done that way.
No, not to my knowledge.
No. So there you go.
Yeah. Wow.
So she's a hot psycho now. She's still hot. She's a psycho. She's a hot psycho.
The best kind of psycho.
Yeah, she's got more kill and spill than Michael Myers, but she's still hot.
Yeah.
And that's okay, right?
Yep.
So I take it she never made it in Hollywood after all then.
Imagine after all that, when she has a rebirth and stuff, I thought, I'll go back, give it another shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, she makes it in the new series of The Odd Couple with Matthew Perry as a guest star. Yeah. Nobody need know.
One thing they didn't explore though, would have been how famous she would have become for losing it and murdering all these people. So she would have achieved some sort of notoriety because of that.
But isn't that the Mickey and Mallory Knox kind of?
It is. I don't. They didn't need to do it.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean. They could have.
They could have. It's definitely a different message, but it's definitely a message that is worth exploring, because eventually all these murders would have been, directed straight to her.
Yeah, and it wouldn't have been like, waitress murders. It would have been wannabe actress.
Yeah.
Murders all her friends and
the jealous rage.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That would have been.
Yeah, and then she kills our lovely man in a van.
She does.
And to which all of the observers from the satanic cult gather around her, take her off, and they bury her. She comes out bald. She has that look of in Star Trek 1, the motion picture. She looks like Alia. Is it Alia? No, Alia. Yeah, she has that look, and skull cap and all. And she goes back and she murders her best friend.
Yeah.
And then she sits in front of a mirror, puts on her pentagon and her pentagon. Pentagram. She puts on her pentagram, and she suddenly is the idol that she always wanted to be. And that's before they cart her off in the van and put her into a mental asylum and and do what you said she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't see the aftermath, do we?
There's no consequence for her. There's no consequence for her. She's a victim to the end.
Yeah.
And well, it's just an incredible,
it's an astonishing piece of work.
Yeah, but so artistically done.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why I've been so hard on
Honeymoon.
On Honeymoon, because I think once you've tasted this, you don't go to microwave pudding again.
So this is the sirloin.
This is the sirloin steak of horror movies. Yeah. It's really, this is Babadook. She does a performance.
It's that level, yeah.
Level. Even though Babadook had no gruesomeness, it had no slasher.
That didn't.
It was all psychological.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rate this one high up, definitely, as a surprising, good recommendation.
You're always welcome.
Now, the other film, the one running theme is that a lot of things happen down below with these women, and
yes,
it kind of made me want to kind of suddenly taking an
interest in vaginas
with teeth and the vagina dentata, which is something that we actually touched upon. Excuse the expression. It's something that we explored. No, okay, in gynecology.
Something we looked at. No, it's something we felt. No,
it's something
we could smell. No.
It's something that we discussed safe in contextual studies and media studies, and we talked about the whole thing about how women are perceived in film and how there's the fear of castration for a man because we believe that the vagina is a thing that has teeth, the vagina dentata, it's critters, it's Langoliers, it's all of those things. The vagina with teeth is prevalent in society everywhere. From pencil cases with zips to
it could be a DVD case. You open DVD and put the DVD in the DVD case.
Yeah,
that's where it belongs.
Exactly, and it's a bizarre thing that the film Teeth actually just directly addresses the vagina dentata head on. Excuse the expression, or head off, depending on how far you go with that, but. It's something that's not explored very often, and I think that with the film Teeth, they just didn't want it. They
blatant.
Yeah. They thought, well, nobody's done this up to the point before, so let's really just drum it home. Let's make it so that nobody else can really play with it, or touch it, or get their fingers bitten off by it.
Yeah.
All right. What can I do for you, miss? Is this your first time? Are you sexually active?
No, I just want to be checked out.
Okay, then. What do we put in here?
It gets too late.
There is something inside of me.
And it's, from what I've seen, I haven't seen the whole film. I watched some of it. It's very on the nose.
Again, it's all surface.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, there's some good performances.
There is.
There's some interesting.
And it's all about
design.
and it's all about how women can be treated,
but also how men can be affected by that. I mean, how the guy turns into a grunge, woman-hating, dog-loving, hate music kind of a guy. Just because of that experience of the show me yours and I'll show you mine kind of and having his finger bitten off by the vagina. But
it's always interesting to explore like men and women relationships, because men tend to be very kind of violent and like it starts in the playground.
Possessive about it.
Yeah, well, I think it starts in the playground where if one boy's got a problem with another boy, they'll have a fight about it. It's sorted.
Yeah.
But women, I think, can be more evil because where the guys will just have a fight and then it's over and done with. Women go, right, we won't speak to her.
We will passive aggressive.
Yeah,
it's
we'll ignore her. She'll not know why, but we're not going. We'll ignore her because she's not. She's wearing the wrong kind of shoes.
Yeah, she's not a part of our vision for life.
We don't really. I don't think men are really psychologically as. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
That we're just shallow penis grabbing, remote control hogging. No, I think I know what you're saying. Is that
I'm not saying we're shallow at all.
I think it's more that we could actually get by with just that and not have anything at all if we didn't have ambition and passion or vision, or if we didn't have imagination, if we didn't have the drive that makes us do things in life. Like
the comedian Dylan Moran has a really good line where he says, like, men are more romantic than women are.
Yeah,
because a man will go, I've met this girl and I need to be with her.
Yeah,
I'm fucked. I mean, I've got this great job, I've got an apartment. It means nothing if I can't be with her. She's everything. She's amazing. She's beautiful, intelligent. I need to be with her, and that's how women feel about shoes. That's the gag. Well, it's kind of got a point there,
It is, yeah, and the only reason why we have other things is because we're sentient and we have the ability to create thought and ambition, drive, determination. Fear is a big thing in our life that pushes us to do things and to not focus on just having a penis for once in our life.
Yeah.
That's why we are architects and build big skyscrapers.
Exactly,
that
yeah.
look like the penis.
I try to ignore my penis and pretend it doesn't exist.
Just so you can be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what you said about people always, if everyone gets into like Game of Thrones, so I'm watching Game of Thrones because everyone else is watching it.
Yeah.
I feel the same way about my penis. I'm going to ignore it because everyone else talks about
it. In those circles, who's talking about your penis?
There's a lot of people in my head, just one of them.
That's the one thing that we're constantly trying to separate ourselves from the cattle, because we're so aware that if we associate ourselves with the masses of the world, that we lose our identity, and we think that we lose our colour and just become a big blend of grey.
Yeah.
In a wash with everybody's the mass appeal of what people just do as conformists. We don't conform, therefore we are conforming to the non-conformist regime. So we end up just fulfilling another spectrum of conformity.
Yeah.
Which it pisses me off because I'm aware of that now, and I don't know which way to go. So I go a little bit of conform, a little bit of rebel, and I kind of just sway between the two.
I guess I don't really think about it.
Yeah, you don't think about it?
I used to. Like, back at college, I'd be like, well, I'm not listening to the Beatles because everyone listens to the Beatles. I'm not going to listen to the Beatles. I'm going to listen to the Beach Boys instead. That's what I'm going to do. And but now I just don't care. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. Whatever it is.
There's that, but I'm just conscious of why, when I said I don't want to do something that everybody else is doing, I question myself, why now? I go, well, why is it though? And usually the answer is, I just don't want to. I don't want that.
You sort of push against when everyone's trying to tell you to do something. You've got to do this. You've got to do that.
I love it when people try to tell me something because I know I'm definitely not going to do it.
Yeah.
They're helping me with my decision there.
Yeah.
So you need to watch Games of Thrones. He said, no, I'm certainly not gonna then.
Yeah, well, I'm convinced if I watch Game of Thrones, I'm going to really like it. I am, but
really?
Yeah, I think it's really good. But I'm still not watching it.
Yeah, I guess there's that, but I don't know.
You don't think you like it?
I don't.
You're sick of all Middle-earthy type things?
Yes, I'm very, very sick and tired of Middle-earthy type things. I think that...
Can you imagine, right, a Hobbit 4, right, set in Middle-earth, in a cabin in the woods?
No. And he doesn't leave that cabin for a whole 4-hour flick.
There's dragons outside, all that kind of shit.
He's too busy reading.
Yeah, he's sat in the cabin, reading the Book of the Dead.
Book of the Dead, yeah.
Oh, we never said out that list. What was your favourite cabin in the woods film?
Do you have one?
Oh, Evil Dead, all the way.
Evil Dead, all the way.
Yeah. I love the film Cabin in the Woods, because it's just great. But, yeah, Evil Dead is one of my favourite films.
Yeah, and I've got my least favourite film in there, which is Cabin Fever.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stand that film.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dreamcatcher is not in that list, but Dreamcatcher is also set in a cabin.
Cabin in the Woods, yeah. I didn't mind that film. Everyone was against it, but I didn't mind it.
I think I have to say that my favourite from that list... it's so difficult to just pick a favourite. The one thing that I think Friday the 13th.
Really?
I think, but then I'm, I like I say, I'm not a big fan of the cabin in the woods genre.
Right.
So I find it hard to kind of find something that I'm really Communion. They were in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, and then it goes to the city and carries on up.
Yeah. Which I
like that film.
Yeah, that's a good film because it takes it away.
Should we do a podcast on alien abduction films?
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should because there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah.
And there's not this one because I don't kind of see this as an alien abduction film. I see this as a psychological problem between husband and wife with a backdrop of alien abduction.
Yeah,
I think when you've got it in the foreground, it's a completely different entity altogether.
Right. So we've not really talked about teeth, but I don't think we need to.
I think it is what it is. I mean, it's a film that is
it's
about...
a serviceable film, you know.
It's about a contextual studies subject that needs some sort of filmic fictional delivery system to teach the theory and the ideals behind it, and that and chastity.
Yeah, absolutely. Honeymoon is a serviceable film, but nothing special.
I'd have to say yes.
And Starry Eyes is a multi-layered film, which is
phenomenal,
incredible achievement.
Yeah, and I'm surprised, really surprised that it hasn't surfaced, and it's been very quiet. That it's not getting the distribution that it deserves.
It's not. All the reviews have been very favourable towards it. You know, I think it did well at like horror awards,
but it just
and stuff. But
it makes me believe that independent films are where it is happening, and I think we have to work hard, just like we used to before the internet came about, when we didn't even know what mainstream films were coming out unless we actually went into the Odeon and picked up a leaflet. We wouldn't know what was going on.
Well, the cinemas are available.
There you go. We have to do the same now about independent films, because they don't always have the...
In some respects, I feel it's kind of our duty to find these films.
And share them.
And show them about, because
exactly.
That was just me being on... have you ever been on bloodydisgusting.com?
No.
It's just about horror genres and games and stuff. It's a really good website.
Yeah.
And I always go in the review section to find new films, and it was there, Starry Eyes, and it was giving it loads of good reviews. I thought I need to find it.
So we're telling you right now, go find it.
Yeah.
Go watch it. And, but we might want to say that at the beginning of the podcast, because we just kind of ruined it for them. Okay, so let's go back in time to the beginning of the podcast.
You catch scratching your face against the glass of the table.
That's okay.
Okay.
She loves it. So Andy, if you remember at the end of this podcast, we said that we need to go back and just let everybody know that you need to remember that there's spoilers in this episode.
Yes.
Spoilers mean ruining the film.
Yeah.
So we're telling you now, go watch Starry Eyes before you listen to this podcast.
And then once you've listened to this podcast, go back and watch it again. And then just keep watching it.
And share it, and the podcast as well.
Yeah. But remember, that's not how to make it in Hollywood. That's the wrong way to go about it.
It's a cautionary tale, it's not a how-to.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's start the podcast.
Okay.
Again.
You know, I want to take this opportunity to let the people know how they can contact our friends at Frame by Frame. They do that podcast
You
thing.
know, two guys, yeah, they do the podcast, okay? So
They're nice. They're like a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Exactly. And so if you want to do the communicating thing, you know, the social networking thing.
Yeah, you can tweet those guys at Frame by Frame 78. If you'd like to go to the website, that will be www.roastedportions.com.
You don't need to do the www. It's implied that it's going to be the World Wide Web.
But people need to know that.
Okay, just go to roastedportions.com, okay? You go down on the right-hand side, you've got the social connections. You can talk to the people who do the show. You can even talk to the people who made that movie, you know, CAC03.
Who'd want to talk to those mooks?
I don't know, they made a pretty interesting movie, right?
Well,
it was in black and white.
Yeah, black and white. I like
you know,
that.
We like black and white, and there was also some trees in that movie, too.
Oh, trees. It's like being in a forest, which is a beautiful thing.
Other connections, you can really get to know these people on YouTube as well, and if you want to comment on their podcast, I urge you to do that. Okay?
Yeah, I think it is a proper, really nice thing if people want to start contacting these guys.
Subscribe to them and comment. I mean, it's just polite, you know.
Also, you can email them at framebyframe78@gmail.com.
That's it. I think that's everything wrapped up, so.
Hey, I'm gonna go and plant a tree somewhere.
Okay, you go plant some trees.
I'm gonna go and plant a tree.
I'm gonna go tweet.
You tweet, I'll plant a tree.
It's us. We're out of here.